What are we going to do today? We're going to talk about a way for you to grow in your business. You're here, and everybody could see my screen. I need somebody to put their hands up. Yes, you can see the screen right now. It says time to grow. I think I'm seeing chats there. I don't pay attention to chat. Yep, I think people are saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, great. Now, if I'm slow with the chat, I don't pay attention to it. But Nisa is my navigator. She kind of helps me with that. So it's time to grow. And what are we really, really going to talk about today? You are attracted to this workshop, this little seminar today, because you want to know how the heck do you transform your past clients into your biggest fans? How do you unlock the secrets to boom in repeat business and referral business? How do you do that? What do you unlock? What are the secrets? Well, today we're going to provide that to you. And we're going to start out by, I need two people to come up and introduce themselves. Why you're here, what do you want to get out of this? Just two people. So raise your hands right now, connect with Benisa, and let me go ahead and introduce myself to you, right? So before we do all of this, let's say that we're looking at this screen. Hi, my name is Paul R. Atkinson, and I'm a CPC. I'm a certified professional coach. Studied at the University of Miami for about 2 years to get the designation. It was very difficult, and the main purpose of getting the designation was for me to be able to coach salespeople. That's what I specialize in, entrepreneurs, business owners, in a thought-provoking environment that would cause them to excel both personally and professionally. I'm the type of coach that don't tell you what to do, but instead I give you a thought-provoking environment that evokes what you should do and get you there. Top 1% nationally in my production of work as a real estate, and I am the author of the book in front of you, The 5 Steps to the Sale. So now, who is going to come up here and introduce themselves? What I'd like to know is, how long have you been in real estate? I personally have been a realtor myself, not only a coach, but also a realtor, producing just like you, since 2003. So it's been 21 years. Yes, I do have the authority to be here and to provide you what you're about to learn. Go ahead, Dave, first guy. What's up, Dave? Where are you, buddy? I can't hear you, Dave. None of
We
us
can't hear you, Dave, no.
Yeah.
Let's try someone else.
All right, Dave, your mic, mic check, Dave. All right. And okay, well, Linda Wells. Hey, I wonder if I know Linda. Go ahead and speak. You're allowed to speak, both of you. We're waiting for you to say hello.
Nope. What's going on? Let's try with the third one. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, Marisol. What a nice name, Marisol.
Hi,
Hi, Marisol.
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Marisol.
Thank you.
Well, I've been in the business for since 2012, and I've been in real estate since. But I was doing it part-time, and about 3 years ago, this is my third year to be a full-time agent. And when I became full-time agent, I started to do pretty well, not as well as I wanted to in the last 2 years, but I kind of slowed down tremendously. And I'm feeling right now stuck with the business. I don't know how to, I don't know if I should say don't know, but I'm just kind of struggling with the business right now. So this is why I'm here, hoping that I can get some good tips from you. I did a lot of business through referrals,
Nice.
a lot of referrals. And right now, I try to get in contact with them like periodically, but I did lose touch for a whole year. So right now, if I get referrals, it will be with customers that I just received this past year, not from years, back then when I first became a realtor.
All right. Well, I guess you could say, Maricel, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for sharing with that. You are a rock star, so don't worry.
Thank you.
What one of the biggest thing that come to me real quickly is, hey, we fail at this, realtors, and one of the reasons why we fail is we don't listen to people like Agent Locator. We don't listen to Vanessa when they say to us, listen, you've got to do data mining. Data mining. If you step into the ring to be an entrepreneur, you have to get a CRM. And then in the CRM, you start to collect like I don't know, like a monster, like a crazy person. Can I get name, email, phone number? And you start to house these people. Just imagine if you were to rewind 3 years back and you were this kind of crazy person that's want name, email, phone number of every person you came in contact with. How many people will be in your database right now? 5,000, 3,000? But this is where we suffer. This is where we lack as realtors. How can we get the power and the strength to follow through and do these simple things? So
that's where I failed.
Yeah, it's okay. What
That's
are you
part of it. Yeah.
to make sure? And the second thing is real quickly, do you have a mentor? Do you have a coach? Who is there to help you to stay strong? What are you doing right? Who's guiding you to do what you do? You don't have to answer, but I could tell you, you should be leaning in that direction. Is your broker capable of helping you? Your team leader? Is it just you alone? Are you going to go to some coach out there that can help you? Are you going to go to a mentor? You don't have to answer. You just think about it. Anybody else want to introduce themselves? And then we're going to get right into the material. Thank you, Marissa.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Fatima. I like that name. Fatima. Fatima.
Fatima, yes.
Hi,
Thank
Fatima.
you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul and Agent Locator, for having this. I think this came to me just when I needed it. I've been a realtor for 9 years, and since last year, I've found that my business does come from referral, mostly past clients themselves purchasing for the second time or purchasing an investment property, and also them referring clients to me. So for the first time last year, I started having a client appreciation barbecue event. So I did that last year. Of course, you invite everybody, and that was the goal, to invite everyone that I've worked with since. The turnout was great. Not everybody showed up. And this past Saturday, September 14th, I had my second one. And what's interesting is, yes, it's going back again to all my past clients and potential clients that are going to be transacting soon, that I've just had a conversation maybe in the next maybe 3 to 6 months that they'll be transacting. I've also invited those ones as well. What's interesting is I found that I had a better turnout this time, but most of the people I knew. There was 1 or 2 people that came last year, but I've got new people that came this year. So it was great. And even through that, I found that the people that already knew me, and again, as I said, it's past clients, we were having other conversations about, actually, I was thinking of moving from the townhouse now and that kind of stuff. And others are like, yeah, once you settle down, call me, which is great. So I had like 3 people saying, I'll need to talk to you after this, which is amazing. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't expect that, but that's great. So I felt that this was talking to me because I want to know how to do this better, and if there's anything else that I should be doing. I find that I'm getting known in my community. Somebody reached out for something totally different, and I said, here's the contact. They wanted an insurance somebody, and I said, here's the contact. I gave them 2 names, and I said, just tell them that Fatma sent you that. And she replied with, Fatma, I've heard of you, and it's great to have friends that talk about you while you're not there. You are blessed. So that's when I come to know, okay, people are getting to know me, even those that are not my clients, but I do want to do the right thing right now so that I can be better at connecting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is wonderful. Everybody, give her a round of applause. You know, real quickly, so we could get into the material. And don't worry, we have enough time. We're going to go through the entire material, and you're going to get 4 unique things that's going to help you to get more referral business. And then at the end, we're going to come back and we're going to have an open mic. Anybody could come up here and talk and give their takeaway. And then I have a gift for each and every one of you that would like to have the gift. So stay tuned. Fatma, isn't it wonderful that you decided to do this barbecue for the community? And look what happened. You get all these people that would come and be interested into you. So now, let's say you refine this activity. Well, what you're about to hear, how much more productive can it be? Interesting. So this is wonderful. Get your pen and paper, everyone. And yes, this is being recorded. And I'm just going to skim the surface of some very important skill set that you must develop. And remember, if you are an adult, you already have these issues of being programmed in your own bad habits that you need to find a way with a mentor or coach or leader, a broker, or whatever you have to break down these bad habits and open up the new one for the entrepreneurs. Think about that. If you're not doing that, you won't make it. I'm sorry. You have to break these old habits and get into the new ones. So let's take a look at what we're going to cover today, how we're going to grow. All right. Thank you both for coming up, and hold your questions towards the end. And now there's also a poll. We're going to ask you a question in about 9 to 10 slides from now, and we want you to pay attention and answer the question. Benisa, we did program that poll for them, correct?
I have to manually launch it, but it's ready. Yes. So
Thank
let me
you.
know.
All right, great. So let's get into this, right? It's time to grow. In the next 60 minutes, really, we're down to about maybe 45 minutes from now, 40 minutes. We're going to go into several things, and here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to find the best assets that we can to get client referrals. What are 4 top skill sets that you should have? We're going to talk about them in detail right now. Number 1, you should have the best communication skill set that you possibly can. What does that mean? I'm going to go over it with you. Number 2, you need to be able to connect with your clients profoundly. And I put emphasis on profoundly. How do you connect, right? There's some key elements to connecting. Number 3, show your values. More than ever, all the agents that are here today that are in the United States, you have it really tough right now. Not only do you have to show the value on a listing presentation, you have to show your values to a buyer, any or even a tenant. It doesn't matter. The playing field has gotten so much bigger. So many realtors right now falling out the box because inside of the US, NAR ruled that we have to do this, right? So your MLS board is like forcing you to do these buyers brokers agreement, tenants brokers agreement, obviously listing agreement. So you have to have the ability to show value. These are the things that you're going to get more referrals from. Finally, how to close your client that cause them to say, "Oh man, gee whiz, what a pleasant experience." We're going to go into all of this in details. You're also going to see currently what you are doing, because I'm going to ask you some powerful questions and you are going to answer them in your own mind. You don't need to say it to us. You just need to answer it for yourself. So write it down. Jump into a fast track on how these techniques can really work for you. We're going to do that. And then we're going to bring it all together. And those of you who stick all the way through, you're going to get a gift from me personally. Now, I introduced myself already. If you scan this QR code, it'll probably take you someplace to, I don't know, a website that shows you who I am. I do coach many folks. I coach celebrities. You might see Kevin Sylvester of Black Violin, Grammy nominated artists on this QR code. You're more than welcome to check that out. Yes, I do feel comfortable to be here today to share with you what we're about to share. So I am qualified. Now, how did I get into the position of being able in the past 3 decades? That's more than 30, that's like 30 years of getting repeat customers and being in the top 1% nationally everywhere I go? How do I get these repeat customers? How do I get these referrals? How do I get people to say, oh my gosh, you know what? This guy is the guy that you want to go to. Whether it's buying anything, you want to go to this guy. It's by understanding where I came from. I was suffering here when I first started. This is me. Yep. And this little thing here is known as a gold reef, and this is a second class petty officer. And this guy named Bob, he has one more stripe than me because he's my boss. But every year we were killing it. We were being the champion for years, all over and over again. When I first started my sales, I couldn't get people to close. No one wanted to sign up. I was crying. I was about 24 years old right here. And I was crying. I literally was crying. And I just said to myself, you know what, start reading books like Brent Staples' Parallel Time, a few other books. And I just kind of figured out something that I can connect with people that cause them to like me, to listen to me, to trust me and believe in me. And from there, all these techniques started to catapult. And that took me into selling many things. I have sold the US Navy with the techniques I'm about to show you. I've sold computers at Sears. I've sold cars. I've sold life insurance. And yes, my very first day in 2003, the very first day I got my real estate license, my brother was a lender, mortgage broker. He gave me a lead and I closed the deal that day. I called the lead. I asked them when they want to see properties. They said this evening. I said, what? Oh my gosh. I ran to Century 21, put my license over there, showed them that night 3 houses, closed the deal. Close it. The first day. That means on the first day that I showed them, I got them to like me, to listen to me, trust me. The wife had her checkbook inside of her purse. I got the checkbook out of the purse and written Century 21 a deposit for $500 back in 2003. The first night. Can you believe that? How is this possible? Can you do it? Yes, you can do that. You sure can. All right. Number one, we talked about these 4 things. Number one is best communication skill set. What is that? What am I talking about? How do you grow and build your referral base? You must speak with precise timing. What am I saying here? You know, sometimes I'll give you a perfect example of how realtors are, most realtors. You know, realtors will go into, let's say they're going to show a house, buyer's agent or even the seller's agent. Either one of them, this scenario helps. The buyer's agent showing the house to the buyer and they just, yup, talking. Oh, this right here, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and then open house over there. And then you're going to like it over there because of the, you need to give people space to think. Check yourself right now and see if you're one of those agents. Are you chatting like I don't even know what to say, but you must think about it. The slower you are, like your uncle, Bob, who is so slow. Oh, yes, guys. Do you want to go hike? You must give people time to digest what they're hearing. It's very important. And it goes a little bit deeper, but I could only touch the surface right now. But speak with precise timing. You must also use truth, facts to build trust. Definitely don't lie inside of your sales business because, you know, karma just comes right back at you. You don't want to lie. But you must build facts. The fact is, this house is in a school district that belongs to A-rated and it's good for the kid. This is what you said you want to see. The fact is, this property, I already checked it out, and the HOA fee is this amount. I called personally and checked it out. The fact is, it does have a fence on it. The fact is, yes, it doesn't have a pool, but you can build a pool. The fact is, look, everybody's fence comes out to this part, so you could come out to this part too. Build trust. It helps you when you give the facts to build the trust. Then use genuine and gentle words, but yet these words should be articulate. That means you must spend some time thinking how to form your words and how do you put them in order. So I can't give an example of that, but perhaps you hear how I speak to you, right? So you need to be really cool. Sometimes, when I'm dealing with my negotiations, my opponent will say, man, you're always so calm. Yeah, because you don't need to get irate. Gentle is good. Very interesting. I'm going to go in depth with something a little bit later on this. You have to tap into emotions. Skill set of communications comes from feeling, and feeling comes into emotions. What emotions? Your emotions, their emotions. If you want to influence a client, make sure you're tapping into their emotions. And the way you tap into their emotions is by you getting into your own emotions. And how do you do that? You could say to yourself in the back of the mind, oh my gosh, I really like this person. My client is so nice. If you tell yourself that, you're going to emanate this aura, this energy that they're going to feel it because you want them to feel it. So you do it first. Number two, connect with the clients profoundly. And I told you earlier, I would say, what is profoundly? What do I mean by that? How do we get the following accomplished? How do we get them to like us and to listen to us? How do you connect with a client to get them to like you and listen to you? As a matter of fact, how do you get them to like you in the first 60 seconds? Well, in my book, The 5 Steps to the Sale, if you research it, you'll see I talk about something that's called the association technique, the mirroring technique, and psychological reciprocity. 3 specific, unique techniques that will allow you to connect with a client within 60 seconds. So if we say association technique, what are we talking about? Well, I could look at someone going in an elevator and just look them quickly. Don't even move my head, just my eyes, look them up and down, and I could say, oh my gosh, wow, I like your shoes. My sister have a shoe like that. And it's a lady. A guy's in the elevator, I'm walking in, the guy have on a polo shirt. Wow, what you doing with my shirt, man? Get that thing off of you. Interesting. Okay, let's use phone power. You're gonna make a phone call, and the number is Benisa, give me an area code for Canada. Give me an area code. Just tell me an area code.
416.
What is that?
416.
416. You're about to call Benisa, and it says 416 555 1212. Ring, 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 ring. Hi, Benisa. Yes. Hey, good afternoon. This is Paul Atkinson. I'm the best realtor right here in Canada. And by the way, I'm just calling you to talk to you about the property that you're looking for. But is this a good time? Do you have about 2 minutes? I really have some valuable information. Yes, that's fine. Oh, real quickly, I just want to connect with you. You're from 416. Oh my goodness. I took my kids over to school in that district. What do you know about 416? I could go on and on. How do you get that person to like you? Then to listen to you? Because if they don't like you, guess what? They will not listen to you. So you first must get them to like you so you could proceed to them listening to you. Got it? Very, very important. I'm going to leave that up there for a little bit. Next one. You've got to get them to trust you. How do you connect with the client to get them to trust you? Trust is earned, and it starts in the beginning of a relationship. And usually at the beginning of a relationship is something like this as a buyer's agent. You make a connection on the phone. Benisa, you're in this district 416, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, oh, great, wonderful. Okay, Benisa, what do you want? You want 3 bedroom, 2 bath, da, 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 da. Okay, great. You know what? I'm going to put together a list in the next 30 minutes, in the next 1 hour, in the next 2 hours, and it's going to be in your inbox. You could build trust by following through by what you say to that person. So say it and mean it. And know that you're starting to play the game of building trust. So then you get off your computer and you do your thing. Within the time frame you told the person, send the list, text them, hey, I just sent you the list, just as I promised. I hope you have an amazing day. Please let me know you got it. Build trust. You need to get the client to also believe in you. They need to believe in you. They need to be in a situation where that, you know what, this person said they were going to do that and they've done it. Not only that, but I feel so comfortable. This person is, for some strange reason, I just like this realtor. This is amazing. When you get them to believe in you, after you go through all these steps here, then they're able to disclose their want, need, and their DBM. Want, need, and DBM. These are three distinguished things. The want is I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Whoops, I need it to be in Toronto because my mother lives next door. She's going to help me. Mother lives in that city and she's going to help me with my baby. That's a need. Or Ottawa because I need to be in that school district close to my job. Or California or Chicago, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just what is the want? What's the need? DBM is a dominant buying motive. It's an emotional state that you find out how they're going to feel when they actually get what they are asking you to get for them. Finally, you want them to be interested in seeing your proposal. I wouldn't present anything to anybody unless I know that they are profoundly interested in seeing what I have to offer, whether it's a buyer or it's a seller. It doesn't matter, renter, landlord, tenant. These are things inherently that causes you to get more referrals because it's something that's really built in to the way of doing business. So let's clear that screen. Number 3, show your value. How do you show your value today? How in the world do you show it? Even more than ever. What are your values? You have to ask yourself that. What are your values? Are your values known to you? And are they listed? Did you write them down? Can you sit down with a client at a cup of coffee at Starbucks or wherever and say, you know what? I thought about it. You know what I like about me? Man, when I get a seller, I do open house for them. I give them feedback. I call them up. Man, you know what? 1 hour before the open house event, I walk the whole community. I give out flyers. I market on social media. What are your values? If it's a buyer, oh, you know what I like about me? I love the fact I know how to find the houses. I listen real good. What are your values? You got to know it. If you don't know it, you can't show it. Okay, how do you stack up against the client's wants, needs, and DBMs? If you know your values and you have them listed, how does that stack up against what the client wants? You need to know that because when the client says to you, I want and I need and my DBM is such and such, you need to be able to say excitedly, oh my gosh, I know exactly what you want because you know what? This is how my values are. I'm good at this, blah, blah, blah. Confess. Can the client clearly see the values that you bring? They need to be able to say, you know what? Man, yeah, I clearly can see that you're the best realtor for me. And then are you tapping into all of the emotions, as I spoke to you earlier? All of the emotions. Who's all? Your emotions and theirs. Because if you want somebody to get emotionally for you, you need to get emotional first. Interesting, isn't it? It is a value. Now, the only time that you would present your masterful presentation is after you've done all of this number 1, number 2, number 3. So you could go back and rewatch this video. If you're taking notes, just think about it. Me personally, I will never give a presentation to a seller if I don't have a connection with them. If I don't have a connection with a seller, I'll tell them right there, hey, you know what? Thank you so much. It was great to be here. Great home. Thanks for the tour. I really did bring an amazing presentation on my laptop, plus the handout here for you. But I kind of feel like there's no connection right here, right now. I've done that before many times. And they've sat me down and said, okay, wait, Paul, I'm sorry. You know what? No problem. Let's, I like you. That's what I want them to say. I like you. Yeah, good. I like you too. So let's do it. Number 4, finally, how do you close your client? How do you close your client to get them to think of you when it comes to anybody, getting them to only want to work with you, only you. How do you do that? The timing, we talked about that. Did you hit all of the markers? Were you on point? Were you seeing eye to eye on them? Let me just say that. Or were you seeing eye to eye on them, with them, each and every step of the way, connecting with them, getting them to like you, getting them to listen to you, making your presentation, making them curious. Did you hit all the markers? Trust. Do you feel that you have the level of trust? Do they trust you? Did you set that? Did you make it happen? Buying signals. When someone is saying, hey, you know what? This sounds good to me. Yeah, I think I want to do this. Hey, that's it right there. Get them to sign, right? Let them feel good. Tell them, okay, I feel good about this too. This is great. I think we should make the offer on this one. All of these experiences are phenomenal. Finally, right here, number 4, last one, client confirmation. It was a good close to them. Like at the fight, they said, I have never seen, I have never felt, I have never gotten a realtor to do me like this. Oh my God. Are you striving for that? Because these are the things that's going to get you that repeat business. These are the things that's going to cause you to be contagious like a virus. Let's throw a poll right now on a scale of 1 to 10, and 1 being the least effective and 10 being the most effective. I want you to answer the questions. How do you rate yourself right now? There's a poll in front of your screen. How would you rate your skill set in using all of these techniques today that we've just discovered? Let's run that poll. All right, let's run that poll. And are we doing that? Are we doing that? Are we doing it? All right. So while that is going, I want you guys to take a deep breath right now and just think about what you are encompassing. What is it that is happening right now? We're here and we're talking about how to get more referrals. But here's Paul telling you about 4 different things that's going to help you to get referrals. Does it make sense to you? Or does it not make sense to you? Think about it. How do you get someone to connect with you? Then after you connect with them, how do you get them to really be able to say, hey, you know what? Not only am I connected with you, but I could see the value that you bring to me, right? And then how do you get them to really close and say, hey, wow, I enjoyed closing with you? So how was the poll? How are we doing with the poll, Vanessa? Are we finished, everybody, just about?
55% of attendees have participated. From what I can see here, number 7 was the highest with 27%.
Okay, so 27%, right? And so basically 70% of us is less than a 10. Definitely a less than 5, less than 7. And here it is. This is what we need. That's why our industry struggles. How are you going to develop this skill set? How? Is there a broker for you? Can your broker help you with this? Can your team leader help you with this? Can you help you with this? Do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor? How are you going to get the skill set? Ask yourself that. If you want to survive and make it, then you need to invest in yourself. Investing in yourself, meaning you're taking the time to study, to read books, to get involved with things that's going to help you to be more successful. Here are some little known facts. This is from Harvard Business Review. And take a look at it. And then we're going to wrap this thing up to an open mic. There's 7 reasons salespeople don't close a deal. And this is by Steve W. Martin, Harvard Business Review. It says here, they're not trusted or respected. What did I tell you? What did I tell you need to do to get more referrals? They said that you can't converse effectively. You don't really know how to talk to people. Didn't I say conversation is a really good key? They can't clearly explain how their solutions help the buyers. They are too self-centered. Oh, I've closed so many deals. If you don't want to do this, then da-da-da. That's negative talk. Don't do that. They use the wrong closing strategy. That's important to get more referrals. You don't want somebody to close with you and don't have a pleasant experience or just think it's normal. That you want somebody to close with you and be like, dang, that is like the best closing I've ever had. I got to get back. Anybody ever want to buy real estate, sell real estate, they're going to my girl. They're going to my guy. They don't know how to alleviate this risk. Thank you for sharing that. I see the poll there. Look at that. Wow. So low. Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate that, Vanessa. Now, finally, here, they don't know how to establish personal connection with the buyer. Okay, the facts. This is a Harvard Business Review article. Google it. Check it out. Am I off track with this? These are facts. Am I off track? No, I'm not. I'm right on point. What we're missing as professional realtors is right here in the studies, but nobody's here to teach it to us. Interesting. What we have discovered today, we've discovered how to use a systematic approach to get clients to close with us and only us. And that's by you making that connection with them, communicating effectively, getting their want, need, DBM, all that stuff, showing your value with them, and giving them such amazing closing. We talked about how to get people to keep sending referrals. We did talk about that. We talked about how you can always get people thinking of you first. That's important. You know, there's things that you could give them, refrigerator magnets, phone calls every now and then. You're driving down. I'm just touching the surface, but there's many things you could do. Maintaining your CRM that Marisol spoke about earlier, the loss of opportunities that she has incurred, but she now knows that, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be making sure I put down names, email, phone number in my CRM. I'm gonna get me an agent locator CRM if I don't have one with my brokerage. Whatever. We talked about what is our level of skill set today. We took the poll. There was like, oh my gosh, this sucks. More than 70% of us suck. We suck. How do we get better? You could leave here today, get in your car, go to your house, go lay back, put your foot on the couch, go to sleep tonight. But ask yourself, how in the world do I get better at this sales business, this skill set to get people to want to refer people to me? Finally, we talked about the facts and the trends. They don't lie. Very interesting. So that's our bringing it together. Now, there you go. Open mic. And come to the stage, Benisa. Anybody, we have like 10 minutes. Anybody that want to bring anything that they've seen here today or something that they didn't see today, I am now here to answer your question. And there's my gift for those of you who have remained here, which is almost all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Scan that QR code. You get a one-on-one with me directly. Nothing would be sold on the call. I'm there to help you with it. I'll make you aware of things that can help you. And if you want to take advantage of it, you can. If you don't, that's also fine. So scan the QR code, book your road call, but please come to the mic. Benisa, anybody that wants to come up? Anybody have a question? Any feedback?
Sammy has had his hand raised for a while, so I brought him up.
Sammy?
Can you
Hi,
unmute yourself?
Sammy K, unmute your mic. You are here on stage. If you want to show your video too, you can. Whatever makes you comfortable. You don't have to do that, but
And
Sammy,
Marisol also wants to say something. Until Sammy is able to unmute himself, we can have her again.
okay. Hi, Marcel. Welcome back.
Hi. So how do you basically continue to be in contact with your past customers? You suggest just a CRM or like, I mean, I know that we send out, I try to do postcards every now and then. But is there any suggestions besides the basic stuff?
No, it's all of the above. It's you thinking outside of the box and say, hey, I have put it this way. If you had a group of friends, how would you treat them? If your clients, let's say you had 100 friends,
Mm-hmm.
what would you do to stay in touch with them and nurture the relationship? Name a few things.
Communicating with them, I guess I would call them every now and then and see how they're doing. Maybe send them postcards like for their birthday, Christmas cards on Christmas.
Keep going.
If I have an event going on, invite them to the event.
Nice. There we go, Marisol. Yeah.
Okay. So I kind of answer my own question, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? As a realtor, everybody think we're dumb. We're
Right.
not dumb. Just understand that you are smart. I told you from the beginning, you're a superstar.
Mm.
Who can bring this out in you to shine every day? Who can do that? Where
Myself.
can you do that? Okay.
Myself.
All right. And you have to do that. Now, get that out of you and sustain it.
Okay.
Sustain it.
Mm.
But look at that. You can keep going. You're absolutely correct. The CRM helps you with the technology. And as we move forward in the future, it's better to have a CRM where your clients can interact on their own. Because at 1 o'clock in the morning, one of your friends are like, you know what? I gotta sell. I need to sell because I'm so excited. My grandbaby, my daughter just got pregnant. I'm moving 2 hours away from here. I'm selling the house. If that happens and trigger a transaction, they need to know how to find you. So that means that the CRM is sending them a monthly newsletter and they can get you stamped 12 times a year. They're seeing the brand, they're seeing her picture, there's a happy birthday come. That's why the CRM is so phenomenal. It's a place to keep the database. You do the data mining. You take care of the people there. All right. Thank you, Marisol. What about you, Sammy? Anybody else want to come up and say something or in the chat?
I don't think Sammy is able to unmute himself for whatever reason.
Okay. Let's see what we got in the chat there. Okay, we've got okay. Got some links in. Oh, the calendar link is shared in the
Yeah,
chat.
Paula wasn't able to scan it, so I just sent her a direct link. And Preet were also inquiring about the advice for new agents. So I've just shared the past webinar that we did on new agents and how to compete against more experienced agents.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Good. Hey, Sammy, no, he's still not unmuted yet. Well, I
No.
just want to throw out there before we wrap things up. We still have 5 minutes. I'm here for you. If you have a question, put it in the chat. I'm paying attention to the chat and I will definitely answer it. If you have a concern, if you feel like there's something that you want to discuss, bring it to us now. I could tell you this while you're thinking. Let me not cloud your mind, but I want you to know, in order for you to get more referrals, you need to make sure that you're able to connect with a human being. You have to really work at that skill set. So much so that you can connect at an instant. You have to sharpen your knife every single day. You're a salesperson, you have to do that. And then from there, after you connect with them, you got to make sure that you can get what they're wanting and they're needing and how they're going to feel, because it matters. And you should write that down or memorize that. And then you kind of get them excited to know that you could deliver what they want. And you show the value to yourself. This is how you get referrals. Okay, Peter, come on, buddy. Thanks for being here. Go ahead, Peter. What's your takeaway? What's your question? Is there something that you'd like to get solved today? You started to talk and then your voice disappeared. How do you deal with the bigger is better?
Oh, can you hear me now?
I could hear you. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. My internet has been going in and out. Living in a rural area, that's what happens. I've been a realtor for 25 years and 26 maybe, and I've never listed at 5%. We're a smaller brokerage, and our listing fee is typically lower, which we're constantly having to explain to people that there's no such thing as a standard commission, which is, and up in Canada, by the way, in Ontario, and I know that with the NAR, you're going through this whole bio agency thing, which actually we've had up here for a while in a way. But when you're speaking with a prospective client and they say, well, I should probably go with this brokerage or that brokerage because they're bigger. I, do try to explain that that won't increase exposure to your house, because just because they have somebody in Vancouver doesn't mean they're going to have somebody for your house.
Yeah.
So I always try to work on service, and my ratio has been pretty good. But I find that lately it's been a little more difficult to fight that, because of the perception that if a brokerage has 50 agents, they'll get you more money than a brokerage with 5, which statistically this makes no sense.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with that philosophy or that psychology?
All right. So basically what you're saying is you are seeing the objection when you go out there to get involved with a client. You're seeing the objection where the client is saying, hey, tell me about your brokerage. They're not so much centered about you. They're not like, oh, wow, they're not sold on you. They're wanting to see. Is that what you're saying?
Well, if you have a billboard, let's say I don't want to deal with a specific company. Let's just say that you have 7 billboards in your geographic area that all say things like "sell for more," which is ambiguous enough that it can't be challenged.
Yeah.
But you see the same 7-ish ones from the similar company, then there's always the impression from the viewer that, hey, these guys sell more, or these gals sell more because they're a bigger company. Which, again, once you explain it, it's not true. But
No. Here's what I'm saying. Peter,
yeah,
how did this come about? I need a live scenario. Are you sitting with a seller at the dining room table and they're saying to you, hey, you're smaller, you're a bigger firm, or you're dealing with a buyer? Give me the true.
I have dealt with this more on the seller terms, because the buyer terms, when I have a good chat with them, they tend to understand that you're looking at the homes that fit your needs, not the agent's needs.
All right, so cool. So what you're saying is, let's make sure we understand this correctly. So you're saying, Peter, here you are at a dining room table or in your office with a seller, and you're doing the listing presentation. And the objection that comes up, they're saying, Peter, we are not ready to sign with you. We want to go see Remax or One Sotheby's or whatever bigger company. We want to see. We have an appointment with the big guy. Is that what you're hearing?
50% of the time, yes, because they say, because wouldn't that give us more exposure, ? And the other 50% is because they have a relative in the business and they don't want to admit it. So, but for the 50 that matter, it's, they tend to think that a larger agency will get them better exposure.
To me, this is all about objection handling.
Right.
And objection handling, there is a secret to handling an objection. An objection is nothing more than a question, and the question is just in disguise. So you turn that objection around. So from my understanding, what you're saying is you do like my presentation, you do find a value to it, but you're wanting to interview with another company. Is that correct? Is that the question? And then you turn it around. So, I'm just doing a little role play here.
Sure.
And when we turn it around, they're going to say and spill the beans. Well, yeah, we want this because we believe that the bigger company is going to be XYZ. And then you can give the facts. What facts have you put together that you found out there that says, whether it's a CNN review, a Google review, something of authority that says whether you chose a big firm or a little firm, it doesn't matter. It's all about the agent himself. What article have you found? Where?
Mm-hmm.
What have you found that can show them in their mind that, what? When you run up against these things, it's your opportunity to get yourself stronger to be able to fight it the next time it comes around.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen this. I've been there 21 years in the business. And I tell you what can I say when somebody tell me, oh, I'm not sure I want to go with PRA and Company Realtors. I'm going to do Remax after you. 4 o'clock, I'm going to be doing Remax. Oh, what? Remax? I thought you liked me. Oh, my God, I wasted all this time. Everybody laughs, wife, husband. And then I say, okay, let me show you something. Can I show you something? You say you want to see Remax. Yeah, let's go to Google. I take them to Google. Put in PRA Company Realtors. Okay, good. What are the stars you see? 4.9. How many people? At least 30 people. Read some of them. Paul. And I have something to counteract it. And then I just get them to sign my darn listing agreement right there and forget about Remax. Does it happen all the time? No. Most of the time, they will say, well, you know what? You're great. I mean, you're amazing. I've never seen a realtor like you, but still, we want to be polite and meet with them. And then I just fuel everything. I said, look, let's go over it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, this, that. Can I call you after you meet with them at 5 o'clock? You meet at 4. I'll call you at 5. Do what you can do. Control what you can control.
I've never tried that last part. Thank you very much. You see me at 4, I'll call you at 5. That's a good line.
Hey, you got to follow right. You want to have a disposition on things.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And feel free, remember, on the screen or inside of the chat, you have a growth call. I'm not here to sell you anything. I want to make you aware of what we have. So you screenshot that, or you get out your phone and you get that. Don't screenshot it, but you get your phone and you click that link and you set a growth call. I see in the chat there's a few more questions. Benisa, are you recognizing any more questions I could answer? Yeah.
So first I'll read Adele. She basically has just a follow-up on what Peter said, and she says, my 2 cents is he believes what he is. Telling you the issue is, as a smaller brokerage, he's way superior. He can offer his sellers hands-on guidance and support with curated exposure. And that is absolutely correct as well. I mean, other bigger companies will have more listings to handle at the same time. And if you have one at that point, then you can absolutely give them more attention than maybe a bigger brokerage would. So you can also use that to your advantage.
Good. That's right.
And we have Dave saying, I send out a monthly newsletter to past clients and get over 50% open rate, and yet I don't seem to generate many referrals. I'm quite certain my past client had a positive experience when working with me. What do you recommend I do to encourage to generate more referrals?
All right. So look at your newsletter. What is it? Where is it from? See what it's about. Is it intriguing enough? Is it information that you personally would like to see? Maybe you could change that or improve upon that. If you think that newsletter is perfectly fine, then that's no problem. It's not one thing that you do to get referrals. It's many things. It's all of the above. So not only do you do your newsletter, but you also make some phone calls when you're driving by the person's property that you sold them 5 years ago. You remember the neighborhood. Oh my gosh, Tom, I just drive by your house. I was thinking about you. How y'all doing over there? How's the dog? How's the baby? You know, on social media, are you staying in touch with them? Are they seeing you? It's all of the above. Next person.
And also, if I can add to that, to just, I'm not sure about your newsletter, Dave, but from a marketing perspective, also make sure that you have a call to action button within that, a place that to tell them basically if you have, who else do you know that would use my service or something like that. So make sure that that call to action is also added to those newsletter, because people when get them, they may be there for the content, but if you don't ask them for something specific, they're not gonna take any action on their own. So just make sure that also that call to action is clear as well within that content.
Yeah, and you know what I've seen too, Vanessa, that's funny. Hey, Dave, do you have $25 a month? Do you have $25 a month to spare? Because if you do, every month in your newsletter, you could say the first person to call me or text me at this number, 955-1212, receives a $25 Starbucks gift certificate, Dunkin' Donuts gift, local coffee shop gift certificate, $25. First person to text me that has read this article.
Yes, that will work for sure. And also the language that you use, you should always ask them an open-ended question. So rather than saying, do you know anybody else that could benefit of my services, go with who else do you know that could value my services as well. So that language matter. You can work on that, you can tweak that and test it out. Send it 1 month using one wording, the other month use a different wording, and see what will give you the best results, basically.
Perfect. Absolutely. Good stuff. Okay, anybody else? My 2 C's.
We have Robbie here. I remember seeing him before in our session, so let's just see what he has to say.
Sure.
If we have time for one more person, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay, absolutely.
Hello. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Robbie.
Hey, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, Robbie, you're
Awesome.
good to go. We hear
Great.
you.
Hey, Paul, I've been a realtor for about 18 years. I've done pretty well over my 18 years, and I have a pretty strong exposure in my area, a lot of advertising. My question is to do with the past clients. So, how do you handle those that maybe you haven't talked to in, say, 10 years and they moved a little bit out of your area, not too far away, but let's just say 10-minute drive away. So they don't see your face every day anymore on the billboards, but you know they're there. And like, do you have a kind of a go-to favorite one-liner, two-liner script that you use to call some of those past clients that you maybe haven't talked to in a long time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I just experienced that driving, and I just mentioned it too. One of the things I do often is I have in my phone for the past 21 years, every time I work with a client, I save their name, first name, last name, and I'll label them buyer, seller, whatever. The reason why I do that is because if I can't remember the name for the whole thing, but I can remember the first name, and then I put, oh, Marjorie, what's her last name again? But I know she was a buyer. I represented her as a seller, Marjorie Seller. Then boom, so it's gonna see it. I'm like, oh, it was Lawrence. Now, here's what I'm saying to you. I was driving past about maybe 5 days ago. I was coming off of 95 down here in South Florida, turning on to 595. And I remember Miss Marjorie, she owned a trailer park that I was putting together a sale on over there. I haven't talked to her in a while. I know she wants to list her property in Davie for about 1.8. And I've been sending her stuff, mailing her stuff, checking in every now and then. But I just thought of her. Ring ring while I'm driving. Hey Miss Marjorie, how you doing? Oh my goodness. I'm actually, remember I told you earlier, make it the truth. I was just driving a 595 and I was thinking about you. So how's the trailer over there? The trailer park. And that was the conversation I had, Robbie. And then she says, how are the girls? Oh man, my girls are big now, this and that. And I said, listen, don't forget me, when you want to sell something or buy something, you got me. She said, Bob, I'm going to call you. Of course. I do that very, very often. But I've got over 500 clients. What is it? How often can you do that? Is it true that as a realtor, you're driving down the street, leaving from one event to the next event, and it's like a 10-minute drive, and you have 10 minutes that you could make a phone call, or you could listen to music, or you could be chit-chatting some nonsense that's not productive. Is it true?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I choose to make the phone calls. I work 8 to 9 hours a day. If I'm working, I'm working. I'm not chit-chatting. My dad called me, oh, son, I want to talk. I'm busy. I'm busy. Let's talk later. I'm not going to be chit-chat. Oh, you want to cook dinner? No. I'm reaching out. I'm literally driving down the street. Hey, man, who lives over here? Who did I sell over here? I'm seeking who I can reach out to. That's one of my techniques.
Thank you, Paul. That's great.
My pleasure. Who else we've got? One more.
We have Teddy in the Q&A section asking, does door knocking works?
Yeah, does door knocking works? Yes, it
Does
does.
it work?
Yeah, it works. Of course it works. It does work. But, as a lady, be careful. Don't go inside the house, when you're first invited. Wear a pants. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. And don't knock on doors that you're not supposed to if it says no soliciting. And it works.
There's a webinar on this. This is an interesting topic, and I would love to hear you go more in depth about that.
Absolutely. And I have a video on YouTube on that too.
Teddy will send you an invite to join us.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Well, that's it for today. We're a bit over the time, and this was great. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, everyone who participated. I'll let you close up.
My pleasure. All right. So once again, what we talked about was getting referrals, guys. And in the chat, if you wanted to get your road call, you can do that. You just simply look on the chat, click on the link that we've just pasted in there for you right now to everyone. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. You could find me on my website, Paul R. Atkinson, ATKINSON.com. I wish you all the best. You really know that we, as a realtor, as an entrepreneur, we have to help ourselves. Our brokers, our team leaders, you're an entrepreneur. So you really have to go out there and do it yourself, okay? We're here to support you. Take care until next time. See you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you, Paul. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Vanessa. Bye bye, everyone.